under the cosh at half time, playing with a bit of a wind and being down a point at half time. We were under a little bit of pressure, but we always knew that there was strength in this panel and strength in the girls, and there's character there. And they dug deep. They did what was asked of them. We made a few substitutions, and they worked, and we got our win. And it's fantastic, and it's a great feeling, and we're delighted to be there.
Brilliant stuff. And Siobhan Ryan, you're very delighted. I'm delighted to welcome you to this Tipp GAA TV show here. And like, you went in with John and that backroom team, you had to go through the entire county to find a set of girls that would, play to the best of their ability and get to an All-Ireland final. And now, after so much months and so much work, you're there. Tell us a little about the journey to getting to an All-Ireland final.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic journey so far, ups and downs along the way. But I suppose the journey really started back at the very start of the year when the management met together. So John made the phone calls and persuaded us to come on board. I didn't need much persuasion. It was a huge honour to be involved with the top under-16 team in the county. And it was, I suppose, we started the rigorous process of scouring the county for the best 30 players in the county, and as a result of that, we came up with a panel for the Munster Championship. We went through, we beat Clare and Waterford in the Munster Championship and met our finalists, Cork, in the Munster final. And I think from that day, we swore after that game that we were going to get back to an All-Ireland final and hopefully make amends for a Munster Championship final that we were disappointed with how we performed. So, and we had Dublin then, and we Dublin and Waterford in the championship rounds, and then we were straight through to a semi-final where we knew we were going to be majorly up against it with Galway. We were definitely underdogs going into the final, but we all love the underdog story that when they come out on top. So the girls' character, as John already mentioned, in the second half was phenomenal. And to be honest, we upped the level of training, the intensity of training, the pressure we put the girls under. And to be fair, I think they're peaking. They're peaking now at the right time, and hopefully they'll put two good halves together against Cork in the final, because that's what we need.
Brilliant stuff. And that final is on this coming weekend, with the venue and the time to be decided. And Siobhan, when you're on that road on the line there and working all through, it's a bit like James Woodlock, I suppose, with the Tipperary minor hurlers. You're building for the future of Tipperary Camogie, and like you're getting the players being positive about playing and really enjoying what they're doing and being the best they can be. And that's the secret, I guess, is it?
I suppose it is. Like, we want every girl in Tipperary aspiring to be making the Tipp senior team. And to be fair, it's a huge honour. Like, we've all experienced the honour of playing for our county. But it's a long, long time since Tipp under-16 A team were in an All-Ireland final, and it's about time we won one. So we're there to do nothing less than that. So it's a huge honour to be there, but nobody wants to hear about runners-up, you're first or last, as I say. So we're there to do a job now, and the girls are extremely focused. It's a hugely exciting week, as John already mentioned, but at the end of the day, we have one job to do. Nobody really wants to remember being a runner-up in an All-Ireland final, and it's a massive time for the girls. It's as John said already, it's the biggest camogie sporting day in their lives so far, and we have a really strong panel with strength and depth now that we've discovered in the last few months, and hopefully now they'll get their just rewards with real hard work again Sunday and a really, really positive attitude.
Great stuff. John, you're steeped in GAA. I know from being involved with you during your time as Upper Church Senior Hurling Manager. And like, you've had a great innings. Your brother Mick was there when Tipp won the Hurling All-Ireland in 2016. And like, you played with Tipperary hurlers yourself and are involved in management for many years. And I know you've abseiled down Crow Park, down the side of Crow Park, to raise funds for a really worthy cause back a few years ago as well. Like, so this is your life, and this is fantastic. And like, I mentioned that abseil, and tell us a little about that one briefly.
Yeah, Dad, my father got motor neuron back some years ago. He was diagnosed with it, and in fairness, they're an incredible organisation. The support that they gave Dad and Mum and us, and they really deserve every bit of support that we can give them back. So we got an opportunity to do to do a fundraiser. We were given a choice. And at the time, Michael was involved with the senior team. And one of them was to abseil from the top of the stand in Croke Park. So for us as a family, it was a no-brainer. We just, like, being involved, being in Croke Park, Michael was there. Dad would have given his whole life to GAA and was often in Croke Park. It just seemed like the right thing to do. So we started off with we had an idea that we could raise maybe 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 euro. We would be very happy, and it would be a fine donation to give. But as it happened, we got such support. It was incredible. I think we over doubled that amount, that target, and we're very thankful to everybody that helped, not just on the day, but their support and all through the time while Dad was ill. But the day itself was great because you get trained to abseil, so you go through a training process, not just a case of turning up and getting a rope and leaping off the top of the stand. There is a few protocols involved, so you get trained up. And I was a bit nervous for Mam. She was she's not as young as she was, and but in fairness to her, she just embraced it and did it. And at the top, if you ever look at the video, you'll see the two of us hanging there, and we had a bit of a laugh about it. We were both hanging there before we started to come down. She says to me, "I'll race you down," which we had a bit of a fun about it. But look, in fairness, like the motor neuron, anything they get, they deserve, because they really give it back in spades.
Brilliant stuff. And John, that's part of it, I suppose, for you being in Croke Park. You've had great days out there following Tipp teams, and you took over the Tipperary Camogie team, the under-16s, and getting them to an All-Ireland final and giving them one of the great days to look forward to in their lives. I mean, that must be huge for you, and up there with a lot of great successes.
Yeah, it's always great to be involved in teams. I think it's great to be on, but to get a team to an All-Ireland final is very special. It's not something that will happen unless, of course, you're Brian Cody, and I'm not Brian Cody. But we get a chance like this, we have to embrace it, because we never know when we'll ever get back there again, and to be involved. But I mean, it's not just us, not just me and Siobhán and Tomas and John Fitzgerald. That's only one aspect of it. Like, for us to go and achieve this, there was a lot of other people that needed to be involved and were involved from time to time. Maybe not as much as what we were. But you take the parents. I mean, there's parents driving maybe an hour and a half to have their child at training at 6:30 on a Monday and Thursday evening and something at the weekend. And they're doing that 3 times a week, and like, without the parents getting involved as much. And I know you'll do it for your own children, but they all have other kids and they all have other jobs and they all have other stuff to do. But we've never had a complaint that, this is going on a long time, there's a lot involved. Never once. They just embrace it. And without those people supporting us, we can't do this. We will not be in the position we're in. And there's also other things, like, in fairness, there's clubs that have supported us. We've got Ballycahill pitch there. And thanks very much to them and the club for that. We got McCarkey pitch when we were stuck. We needed pitches, and pitches were hard to get during the year, especially the early part of the year. My own club have been outstanding. Upper Church Drumban. They have given us the pitch, they have given us equipment, they have given us whatever we needed. And also the county board. We cannot function without the support of a county board. County board is willing to support you, that have structures in place for us that will give us whatever we need. And it's not just us, Stephen. It's a combined effort of a lot of people. But yes, it's, for me personally, it's up there, one of the the best sporting occasions for me in my time. It's great to have a bunch of young girls that are eager to learn. They want to train. They're hungry for success. They want to proceed. They want to go to the next step now. They want to go to the minors next year. A lot of those will go to the minors, and very shortly after that, there will be a couple of them that will just go into the senior team. They're a very committed bunch. Their parents are very committed, and I couldn't speak highly enough. But there is a big family there. There is a lot of unity, and there is a lot of people behind this. As I say, it's not just us, and I'm sure Siobhan will agree.
Siobhan?
Yeah, definitely 100%. I've been overwhelmed in the last couple of months with the support we've been getting, especially as John mentioned from the parents. It's just been phenomenal. And like we have an example of it's a huge weekend for Mile Rovers. Ava Dolan has been an outstanding back for us, and I think it's the first time, if I stand to be corrected, but it's the first time her club have somebody in an All Ireland Camogie final. So it's from Mile Rovers up as far as Killaran McDonough's, Killadangan, the real North Tipp clubs. We have the whole length and breadth of the county of support, and it's just been phenomenal. There was a lot of tears of joy last Sunday when we had won, because we weren't expected to win, and I was there struggling to figure out who was who, congratulating us after the match and actually saying thanks. But I'd put it back on the parents straight away, because without the parent support and all the club support we're getting, we would not be in this position right now. Because at the end of the day, the first people to encourage the girls were the club coaches, were their parents, were their family members. So we are nothing without them. So we'd ask everyone again to rally all their clubs and get every family member out there as well on Sunday to shout us on wherever the match is.
Yeah, and it's such a healthy pastime being involved in a camogie team, and then to get to that level where you're achieving and being the best you can be.
Yeah, 100%. Like we have the age group where I think it's 35% of girls between the ages of 11 and 17 give up sport fully, give up competitive sport fully. So we were very mindful of that from the very start of the year, that they are under 16. We have one member of the panel who's still only 14, not turned 15 yet. So there has to be a huge fun element too, a fun yet obviously intense level with the training as well. But I think that's definitely what we've brought out of them as well. They realise that competitive sport can be fun, and I think when they're playing with that level of expression, it's shown, and they're coming to train with a smile on their face. They're leaving train with a smile on their face, and definitely this week I think that the smiles are even wider, and we hope they're at their widest next Sunday evening.
Oh, it sounds like a fantastic setup there. And just looking back at that game, you had some really good players in that. Lucy Purcell was a name that cropped up a good bit. Sarah Corcoran at centre back, Danielle Ryan, Cueva Stakelum. But I suppose you can't single one or two out, but at the same time, you need that team, everybody performing and everyone with the right mindset, John.
We've been very lucky, Stephen, because there is some outstanding players there, but a team is only the sum of the individuals. We cannot depend on just one individual. We need, at this stage, 20. We're playing a panel, and we have a lot of characters, strong characters in our team, and it's not the same people that are standing up every day. We have different people that have had, come to the fore every day. They had a great game the first day, may not have had as good a game the second day, but came back again. But we've had a big spread of individuals that have stepped up to the plate at different times when we need them. They're a very, very strong, united bunch. They work very hard for each other. There will be individuals, and some individuals, some of their performances will tip the balance for us. But on the whole, it's a combined effort, and it has to be a combined effort, because if we don't work as a unit, as a team, we're a hard-working team. We're a hard-working unit, and we always said to them, work rate, work rate, work rate. That is the thing we said to them first and last, and they've bought into it. And without that, we don't work, obviously. But with that, the individuals can actually go on any given day and can pull something out and that'll tip us over. And we had that last week. We made some of the changes. The subs came in, they got crucial scores for us, you know, and that is it. And they're quite happy. They were just quite happy to come in and do their bit, you know, even though, and I said it earlier, that one of the girls was dropped from the day before. She came on, she got her scores, and, you know, she had a superb attitude, even after getting the news that she wouldn't be starting, all the way through to when she got the call to come in with 10 or 15 minutes to go. Her attitude never changed. She was going in there. She had a job to do. She knew what she had to do. She went in and she did it, and we got our victory and we moved on.
Brilliant stuff. I believe Ali Kelly came on, hit 1-1 from play, huge contribution, and Ava Beavens, daughter of Maria and Mikey Beavens, who is now the Tipp senior hurling coach, she came on and made a big contribution as well. And we're going to see some of the highlights of that semi-final victory over Galway. So here it is, the All-Ireland semi-final win, where Tipperary beat Galway.
Galway are there in numbers too. Out comes from centre-back Sarah Corkin. Tries to get into the hand. Has it now on the second attempt. Sarah Corkin driving forward, trying to get her forwards going. Strikes
Oh,
in.
great strike by Sarah
Going for her own
Corkin.
score.
From centre-back and all the way through to the 45 and puts it over to reduce the lead to 2 points. But Liz Dempsey gave it a high challenge. Another chance for Sarah Corkin. Drops it in again, this time a bit longer.
Looks
and
good.
over the bar. Over the black spot, as they say.
Caoimhe Callan with the ball striking in into space, but it's the Tipp cornerback who's out in front.
Mellerick. Subs going forward. Won by Sarah Corcoran.
This is better play by Tipp.
Tipp doing all the attack in this half. Through to Danielle Ryan. Danielle Ryan, chance for the lead. A serious point by Danielle Ryan.
Now Tipperary need to get going here at the opposite end. Here goes Lucy Person, Turles Arches. On she goes, solo run through. She's been met by a Galway player. She jigs past and takes a shot herself. This is a lovely
what
score.
A point.
Brilliant score, Philly.
So Tipp go into the lead. 9 points to 1-5.
Line ball into Tipp. Well gathered by Ava Beavens. She turns back, lovely pass. And it looks like, look at the strike. Oh! Did it go in? Yes, it did.
Goal for Tipp. 2 substitutes combined in Ava Beavens and Ali O'Kelly.
Ali O'Kelly with the finish.
Just like the Munster final, subs making an impact here.
They're out. Galway are outnumbered there if Tipp can get it, but it's Galway who'll come out with it again.
Hey!
And there we have it, the final whistle.
And Tipperary are into their first All-Ireland final in many years. With a win against Galway, a crucial goal by Ali O'Kelly, I suppose, was the big thing at the end. And Galway won 8, Tipperary won 12.
Huge excitement there in the last few minutes. A low score in second half, Philly, but it came alive there with the last couple of scores there. And Tipperary would be absolutely delighted here. A 4-point victory, 112 to 1-8, and a place in the All Ireland final.
Great stuff there, and Geraldine Canaan and Philly Ryan there on commentary for that game. And Siobhán, we could just see the impact there that Ava Beavens and Ali O'Kelly made, and some of the clearances there by Sarah Corcoran, phenomenal. So the subs made a big impact, and a lovely style of hurling as well, Siobhán.
Yeah, to be fair, we brought on subs in the backs as well, and they set the tone for the second half. They came out in front, took the risky chance to come out in front, because if it went behind them, there was clear space in front of our young goalie, Danielle. So I think the backs set the tone for the second half, and I think there was a ripple effect around the team then. As John already mentioned, this isn't a team of individuals, it's a team of girls who are working really, really hard for each other, and any of the scores you saw there were a collective team effort. So we have drilled it into them from the start of the year. The girl that got the hook, the block, the turnover in is going to get the plaudits as much as the girl that finishes the job up in the forward line. So it's work rate, hard work, and it's been drilled in. And the girls know, looking ahead to the weekend, that there might be individual excellent performances, but it has to be the collective effort. It has to be it's the winning the rucks, it's the little hot passes, the player running off your shoulder. It's all the small things become the big things on any given day. So the girls know it's those little extra beads of sweat that they sweat for each other is what comes together cumulatively to win any match. So it's just they have to up it another gear again. So like we've been drilling into them all year as well, that there's another gear in them, and I think we're hoping that they really reach their absolute peak of potential now on Sunday and actually just unleash their potential, because it won't be good enough to be in patchy form against Cork. Yes, they'll have their purple patches and Tipp will have their purple patches, but it's during those phases of the game that the girls have to work really hard, stick with their players, mark tight, force the turnovers, keep the pressure on Cork, and from that and the impact the subs can make again, there's no doubt, like, the attitude has been phenomenal. It's really, really coming to fore now, and the attitude, we couldn't have asked for better last Sunday. We could have got in, as John said, with the heads down, being a point down after playing with a kind of a crossfield diagonal wind at our backs. We came out, and I think just the tone was set from the first ball. We won. We got the first 3 scores unanswered in the second half. Our corner backs, our full back line were driving out with the ball, setting up scores, and then when we unleashed the really hungry subs onto the pitch, they worked really well with those girls that were just energised by their input from the bench. So as a collective effort, we couldn't have asked for more, but we will ask for more again Sunday, and hopefully that it will reap rewards.
Yeah, John, like the team is playing with a lovely style, running game, down the field, into space, and like skill is to the fore there without a doubt. When you're involved, that's the case. But they're really powerful, that team. They're really good. They are.
They're actually a well balanced team. We have some incredibly good players, good hurlers, good camogie players. That have a great skill level, but it's their intelligence, as much off the ball as on the ball, that defines this team a little bit. They're looking to run off the shoulder, and this is something that you can only coach to an extent, but they have it. They have it themselves. It's inherent in them. They're looking for that ball. If you can see one of the balls, I think Sarah Corcoran got it there in the clip, and she had Paula Quirk just running through the middle, popped the pass to her. Paula put the ball in, and I think we got a point out, got a score out of it. Danielle Ryan got a point out of it. That is something that you can set up the coaching drills, but they need to, in the heat of battle, be able to make these decisions themselves. And we give them that latitude to go and be themselves. Because if they're not being themselves, if they're trying to play to a structure, they're thinking about the structure. They're not thinking about the game or what they can do or what they can bring to the game. So they have latitude to go and be themselves on the game. Yes, they have certain things that they need to do. They have to mark their marker, and they have to cover off. But when we're in possession, they can go forward. And that's what we're looking for. And that's what will create the openings for us, for other girls that may be better to score. Some girls better to defend, or some girls better at taking frees. They all have a strong characteristic. But it's to get the most out of them. And in order to have the most out of them, and Siobhan alluded to it earlier about having fun. You have to have fun. You have to enjoy what you're doing, but you also have to have a bit of freedom. And we give them that freedom, that when they want to move forward, like Sarah Corcoran came up there for a beautiful point from play. Sarah will do that all day long, and she will do it, and she knows when to do it. But that's on Sarah. It's not on us. She makes that decision when she sees the open field in front of her. She can go. She knows she can go. We tell her, "Go, Sarah. Go. You can do it." But she ultimately makes the decision. We can't make the decision on the sideline. But that is where we are with this team. They will all do that. And they all learn from each other and say, well, Sarah Corcoran can do it. Lucy Purcell went up and did it. That's what we need. And that's what we have from these players. They're very intelligent bunch. They work hard, and we can't ask any more.
It's a little like James Woodlock's minor hurlers this year. They're of a similar age. They got to the All-Ireland final, kept going, showed that heart, showed that spirit that your team has been shown there. And there's a lot of links between camogie and hurling. We've seen it, to look at the Tipp Championship, Frankie McGrath is the Lochmore manager. His daughter Aoife plays with the Tipp senior camogie team. There's a lot of links there, and it's brilliant to see a Tipp team going to the fore. And I mentioned Mikey Beavens, Ava's dad, there as well. He's involved with the hurling team. There's so many connections between the camogie team and the hurling team.
Yeah, there is. There's lots of connections all the way through. And without the connections, you know what I mean. It's a tradition, and that's what it is. It's coming from our proud Tipperary tradition, and these girls are part of this, and they're creating their own little bit of history. But it's coming from a tradition. Like that, most of these young girls are coming from homes that have had parents involved. Some of them maybe at intercounty, you said Mikey Beavens, maybe the highest, one of the highest profile GA people at the minute. You know, from other parents that the mothers and dads played camogie and hurling with their club. But it doesn't matter where or what level they were at. It's the fact that they're coming from a GA household, and they're coming from a traditional Tipperary household where, you know, they're out with their hurleys, and you'll see girls and boys now. They're all out with their hurleys and banged against the wall, or they're walking down the street. They have the hurley in the hand, and that is tradition. That is what is, I don't know, ingrained in us. Like that's what I grew up with. That's what you grew up in, Siobhán. You know, we grew up in the GA family, and that's what it is. And these girls are no different. It's coming from the parents again, that the parents are encouraging them, and you know that's where I think it's coming from.
Yeah, and you have the hurling and football in Tipp. You know, can you see really bright days ahead? Even just looking a few years ahead for the Tipp senior camogie team as well as the hurling team, like that. You know that the GA in the county is kind of rising all the time now, and you kind of have to stay going like that to stay to the forefront.
This is, I think this is can be the beginning of a great time for Tipperary camogie. These girls are very committed, and their families and parents are very committed. But there is a group ahead of us, and two groups ahead of us, like the minors. There's a very good minor team there this year. The senior team, okay, may not hit the heights that they wanted, but there's still the nucleus of a very good team is there. When you have girls like our under-16s and minors feeding into that group, I'd be very surprised, Stephen, that if in a few years' time, 4 or 5 years' time, that Tipp camogie will be right back at the top again. You know, they're not far off the top, but they're just not quite there this year. They've been in the semi-finals the last couple of years. But in order for any team, any senior team, to develop and improve and be competitive, you have to have a feed through. You have to have people coming through all the time. And now, getting into the final, we've nothing won yet. Let me state that. And we were very aware that we have nothing won yet. We're in an All Ireland final, which is great. But we have no silverware. We've nothing won yet. But we'll park that aside. We still have girls that have gotten to an All Ireland final. They're in an All Ireland final now, and that is ahead. They will take that with them. Whatever happens Sunday, they will take that with them, a lot of them, onto minor. And that, again, will feed onto the senior team. And it'll bring, they'll have a winning mentality, you know. They will want this. They have a taste of what it's like for a build-up to an All-Ireland final now. They'll have a taste of what it's like on the day of an All-Ireland final. That sort of taste you want again and again and again. And I think these young girls now will drive it on. And I think with you know, proper structures, and they are in place now, in fairness, with the county board. And it's not just the county board, it has to come through the clubs, because without the clubs, you know, training these and coaching these young girls and getting them ready to come into another 16. I mean, there's 14, 15, 16 at the minute. Without that structures from the club and through the development, we don't get to where we are, you know, for this Sunday. We depend on those. And in turn, the senior team then depends on us and people like us doing our job to get the 16s ready to go on to minor, and for the minors then to go on to the senior league. You know, it's a conveyor belt. I think our conveyor belt is fairly full at the minute, and I think it's looking good, for Tipp camogie going forward.
Great stuff, John. And Siobhán, you mentioned the fall-off rate amongst teenagers that are playing the game, and this team, like, the structures are in place with John there, John Fitzgerald as well in the backroom team, Tomas Gleeson as well involved with you in the setup there. And these girls have a lot of positive role models from across the years there, be it you know, with the hurlers going out to cool camps, the camogie players that have been stars of the game, like Sarah Friday and like Orla Dwyer, who is just another huge role model for the girls, Siobhan.
Yeah, absolutely. To be fair, in Ireland at the moment, the girls don't have to look beyond girls themselves to get huge role models in their local community. You mentioned Orla Dwyer, like a professional athlete at the top of her game. And I just remember a story after the game last Sunday. Paula Quirk very excitedly came up to me and said, Siobhan, 2 people are after asking me for my autograph, for her autograph, Paula's autograph, and Paula's vice captain. And I said, Paula, embrace that, because they are special moments. And that's what we want. We want the youngsters younger than Paula aspiring to be the Paula Quirks, the Sophie Mars and the Sarah Corcorans, and the girls ahead of them. They have been role models, definitely 100%. And the minor boys winning, the under 17 boys winning as well, has been a huge lift. And the girls are of the same age, maybe a year younger than, but Joy has been a huge lift for them, for everyone to see them pulling through and winning an Ireland final. So the girls, to be fair, at the moment are flooded with fantastic role models within their own communities, at county level and provincial level, and then All Ireland and even international level, like Orla Dwyer. So yeah, that's definitely we wouldn't be doing our job right if those girls weren't aspiring to push on and get the absolute best out of themselves and become and go on to the next level to bring Tipperary Camogie forward. Like we had, I think I stand corrected, John, 8 dual players this year, and
Yes.
we had girls on Munster hockey teams, Tipperary soccer teams. Like one of the girls in the panel was on 3 Tipperary teams this year, to the highest level. So we were encouraging that this year because there's transferable skills between all sports, but we had to facilitate that. So it was good. John was excellent with the management of other sports as well, to liaise with them, because we want to get the best out of girls. We don't want to burn out girls, and we don't want girls resenting the fact if to go to another training session. We want them coming, embrace and training, and as a result that they're fresh for each sport they play. And now their focus 100% this week has been on getting that title, because as John said, we've no title at all. There's no silverware on the table yet for Tipperary Camogie this year, so we have to push on and win that title. So definitely the role models are around them, but in turn, these girls will be role models for younger girls in their clubs and in the county as well, because we've under 15 development squads, there's under 14 development squads. Gráinne O'Leary is spearheading massive development in the county as well. So it's definitely looking bright, and hopefully we'll get the fruits of all the hard work that's been put in.
Yeah, John, isn't it such a good feel-good factor from Rachel Blackmore to Orla Dwyer to a Tipperary Camogie team now in an All-Ireland final?
Yeah, it is. It's always great to be in a final. You know, and even through any of our own careers, like, you know, when you start at the beginning of the year, isn't that what you want to do? You want to get into a final, you know. And we have said to girls at the beginning of this year, we're here to get into an All-Ireland final, win an All-Ireland final. And it hasn't changed. And we you know, from the very first trial we had in early January in Ballycahill, and it was a mucky, dark day, we still emphasised to those 60-odd girls or 70 girls who were there, you know, that whichever 30 comes through, we're still looking to win an All-Ireland final. It might not look like it today, and I can assure you it didn't look like it that day, but it looks like it at the minute. You know, it looks good at the minute, but that's it. You know, you have to come through dark days, and like the Munster final defeat wasn't one of our finest moments, but you know, we've learned from it and we will move on from it. But ultimately, we're getting to the All-Ireland final. We're in the All-Ireland final, and you know, that's where we wanted to be at the start of the year. We're there, so now, you know, just finish out the job.
Cork are formidable opponents as well, like, and that tradition of Tipp and Cork goes way back to your own playing days, and you know, we've seen how strong the Cork Camogie team have been at senior level the last few years. So it's going to be a big test now in this final, and I suppose, as you said, they have to embrace this and run with it. These are the days of your life.
These are the days of your life. These are the special days. These are the days that you look back on, you know, like, you know, when you achieve something or win something with a team, you know, especially at my age now, when I look back at stuff that I did maybe 30, 40 years ago, you know, you still look back with fond memories, and you still have the friends, you know, you still have those group of people that you went through the mill with, you know, to achieve something they're still your friends. They're lifelong friends. You know, Cork are a very, very formidable team. They're very strong. They're you know, a good side. You know, plenty of hurling. They have good balance, and you know they obviously will be favourites going in on Sunday, and that's fair enough. They beat us in the Munster final. They deserve that tag. But in saying that, we're not one bit afraid of the challenge, and neither are the girls. We will embrace that, and as you say, it's one of those moments in your life that you will cherish and look back on, and we'll have fond memories going forward. And maybe just put in a little one there, Stephen. You've done it yourself. We have now adopted the Sand Trap as our recovery hub. After these games, we started going there, and it's been great on a number of levels. Number one, it's good for the recovery, as you know yourself from your own playing days. Get down into the Sand Trap and get the water flowing over the legs. But when you take 30 girls there, there's obviously a bit of fun attached to it as well with the recovery. And we've had some great. It's actually acting as a bonding session for us. But I'm sure you had some fun memories yourself down there with teams and a bit of fun. But we've adopted that now the last couple of times, and it's worked well for us.
Brilliant stuff. The crack sounds good, Siobhan, within a good spirit in the setup.
Yeah, it's absolutely phenomenal, really. That was one thing we were very conscious of. We needed to really unify this bunch, because a team that trains hard together, they're friends on and off the pitch. They have each other's backs. So we've really got that into them now, and they're really showing there's unity there. They look out for each other. Like, we got positive comments from each girl about each girl on the panel, and it was overwhelming to read them. Like, the girls have such massive respect and unity amongst themselves, and there's massive friendship there. And if that friendship is deep, they have each other's backs on the pitch, and they're absolutely showing it. I just say, Stephen, on the Sand Trap note, it was a sight for sore eyes when the half John got into the water there in the Sand Trap. The water levels were low before he got in, and they were lower when he got in. But no, the girls, to be honest, there's no harm in the girls seeing a different side to us as well, because they're used to me doing an awful lot of shouting and trying to get the best out of them. And at the end of the day, we're human as well. I think one of the real unifying things as well that we haven't mentioned so far was on the way home from Dublin. DJ Lucy Purcell had a massive speaker on the bus, and there was serious dancing and singing done. Now, we knew we had nothing won. We still don't have anything won, but again, it was it allowed the girls to see a different side to us and get our vocal cords in check. But it was a bit lighthearted, and the long journey home was very much sharpened by the enjoyment. And girls that were normally, it allows the shyer girls, the quieter girls, a chance to realize that, what, it's okay just to be themselves, and there's an absolute place for everybody in the team. So as a result, we have 30 different personalities and 4 different personalities on the sideline, but we're gelling together really well, and I think it's coming to absolute prime time now for that expression to be shown in a final.
Yeah, it sounds like you have a great spirit there, and that is the key ingredient, Siobhan. Yeah,
the spirit, I think, is coming from we don't set out to have a comedic training session, but there's so many characters on the team that and so many ways they can interpret things I say. I can only account for myself, but we have characters who like a sense of crack, and I think it's vital at this age that they enjoy what they're doing. And obviously, as coaches and as mentors, our job is to make the environment really conducive to the girls thriving. It's not our job to turn them off sport, to turn them off playing for their county. Our job is to nurture them to aspire to really high things in Tipperary Camogie. And I think we're getting it right at this stage now in terms of the environment for the girls, and they're creating that themselves as well. So as a result, there's huge spirit amongst the bunch, and I've no doubt again we're going to feed off that from each other on Sunday. We're feeding off the spirit of parents that are supporting us in the clubs as well. So yes, there's huge spirit there, and I think any of the successful teams in any codes down through the years, including the All Ireland there at the weekend, there's huge spirit being shown by teams, and I think that's the spirit that carries you through in the tougher moments in games when your back is to the wall. So the spirit has been encouraged in them, but the girls themselves have been the ones to draw it out of each other, and we've just been facilitating that.
Great stuff. And John, you're hoping that the wider Tipp public will come out and get behind this team and believe in this team.
Yeah, obviously we want to support on Sunday as much support as we can get, and we would really appreciate it. I don't think we're going to suffer with lack of numbers. From what I'm hearing already, people are contacting me. Where is the game on? There's a bus coming from this club, and there's a bus coming from that club, and they all want to come and support their own. They're in All Ireland final. Everybody knows how special it is to get to an All Ireland final, and yeah, look, I don't think Tipperary people, as a rule, they will support their own. And we will have the support on Sunday. I have no doubt. And in fairness, anyone that's looking at this or listening to it later on, please give us the support. Give the girls your support. They have worked very, very hard, and I don't think you'll be disappointed by how they will perform. Win, lose or draw, I don't think you'll be disappointed in how they will play.
We've heard Brian Cody talk about that team spirit and how important that was in his dressing rooms, and heard Liam Sheedy talking about the week of an All-Ireland final is one of the best you'll have. And like John, you've been at hurling matches, and playing and involved with camogie teams as well. And like All-Ireland final is really special. So this week is one that just is huge in these girls' lives, and everyone that will follow them and support them, and hopefully all that Tipperary public will feel that as well. And this week is incredible.
Yeah, this is a special week in anybody's life. Anytime you get to any All Ireland final, it's a special week, because it's a different week, because there's build up to it. I mean, even to be doing this podcast, that's different for us. That didn't happen last week, or any other weeks before any of the matches. So yes, it is, and people that I've had people coming up to me that I thought wouldn't ever have known that I was involved with the camogie, saying, well done last week, and best of luck in the final, and people realise that, and that makes it a special week. It's the people make the week, because without doing anything in this life, you have to have people. You just can't do it on your own, and that's what makes it more special, when you have people and wanting to share and wishing you the best. And then you have, say, the other things to build up, the last training session, that's a very special training session, on Thursday night that we'll have our last training session, and, this group possibly will never be together again, you know what I mean? Because, for one reason or another, somebody won't make the minor panel next year or 2 years' time. Might be an injury, or they may have gone away to a different school or gone to a college or whatever, for whatever reason, so it is a very special week, but they will be united. They will all be united in this, because they're part of this bunch, and this for them will be a lifelong thing, because they will have friends for life out of it. But yeah, it's a very special week.
Brilliant stuff. And Siobhan, we'll leave you the final word. There's players involved here from Mile Rovers to Shannon Rovers, so you're going right across Tipperary, either side of the shore.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a fierce, strong panel here covering, as I said already, the length and breadth of the county, and we just appeal to every club to get behind their players. They're already doing it, and get the colours back up again. Some colours were taken down after the minor boys, so I'd say get the colours back up again, and the girls are really, they'll feed off the support they're getting. They're already doing that. They're thriving in this week, and as John said, Thursday night will be a special night, because, as we've mentioned him, this bunch will be together for 1 year realistically, and then others will progress on. But right now we're living in the moment, and the moment is facing into an All-Ireland final. So we'd say definitely thanks for all the support so far. Thanks a million for even doing this podcast. We met on Monday night to have the arduous job to pick a team. It took us more time than we thought, hours and hours it took us, but it was great. The first thing I acknowledged was that it was great to be on the week before an Ireland final, to be picking a team for the Ireland final, as opposed to being disappointed about the what ifs. But we're all thriving in this week, in this build up to the final, and we want to thank everyone for their support so far. And let's push it on one more gear now and make sure we bring back the title to Tipperary.
Brilliant stuff. Siobhan Ryan, coach and selector, and John Ryan, Tipperary under-16 Camogie team manager. Very best of luck in the All-Ireland final. I can't wait, like all the other blue and gold supporters around Tipperary. Best of luck in it.